Hey guys, welcome back to Griffo's Retro Gaming, and today I'm doing a video on my recent journey to the Gamepad, which is a store in Scarborough in the north of England, and a store that I love going to. And I have been there before, I have done a video on it before, but in this video I've captured quite a bit more footage, and I'm actually in the footage as well, so you're looking at my sort of point of view, if you like. But I'll go through that in a moment. I just want to talk about the Gamepad because it is a fantastic little store. And when you think about these gaming stores, some of them are really sleek and clean and modern and, you know, things like that. But this is, how to describe it, it's like an Aladdin's cave. I think I said that in my last video on the place, and that's the true beauty of the place. You have to dig for what you want and truly rummage through everything. You need to set a bit of time, let's be honest, but the fact that you can walk away with some true bargains it's worth the trip. It really is. And my journey there was no different. I've walked away with some bargains, I felt, and not exactly what I set out to get, but I have got some good games nonetheless. And I also went to CEX in Scarborough. There's only 2 pickups from there, so no footage either. I'll just quickly go through that. I'll tag it on the end of what I bought from the Gamepad. But I'll go through the footage now, and I hope it gives you a really good flavour and idea of what the store is really like. And that's the Gamepad, which yes, it looks like a bomb's hit the place in some respects, but I love that. I really do. I love the fact that you have to rummage. And when you're just looking at certain things, say there's a cabinet that you're looking at, you can look at it, not see anything. Then you go back to it again and you'll see something that you didn't see before. And it's like that all the time. Whatever you look at, there's always something that you didn't see before. And I guarantee you'll walk away with something. It's a great store. If you don't mind setting aside, I don't know, a couple of hours and rummaging through a load of games. But that leads me on to what I bought from there. Now, I didn't buy an awful lot of things from there. There's 5 games, so not an awful lot, but I'm really happy with what I did get. And when I went to Scarborough, I set aside some money. It was my birthday, so I set aside some money to be able to buy some games and go to the Gamepad, which was like a whole experience in itself. But I did think that I would be walking away with a lot more in the way of Xbox games, original Xbox and PSP. That was ideally what I was going for. However, I walked away with a Game Boy game, not overly pricey, but quite a pricey game. Cartridge only, unfortunately, but if it did have the box, it'd be worth hundreds. So for now, I think cartridge only is the way to go for me. But yeah, there is a PSP game and 2 original Xbox games. Now, I'll start with the original Xbox games. Nothing too spectacular here, but all of them that I needed. And the first one is, if it'll focus, Shell Shock NAM 67, which is, I believe, a third party. It's a third-person shooter, I believe, from the screenshots anyway. So not a first person, just a war game set in Vietnam. And it was £1. This is in fantastic condition, which is why I picked it up. I think in CEX it's 50p, but for the fact that it's in such good nick, I thought, yeah, I'll pick that up. And yeah, the graphics actually look really good. We'll see what the gameplay is like. And the fact that it's set in Vietnam, obviously you'll have the jungle and things like that, so it should look stunning. Fingers crossed. The next game is one which completes I think there's 3 Batman games on the original Xbox. I'm just trying to, maybe 4. There's Batman Begins as well, which was based on the film. Anyway, but this completes the lot anyway for me, and that is Batman Vengeance. And I don't know if this is based on a cartoon. It certainly looks like it, but there's no... It says Warner Brothers on there and DC, but there's no like Nickelodeon or anything in the way of cartoon channels to indicate that it is based on a cartoon. But from the graphics, it looks very cartoony, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. Hopefully so, but the Batman games, until Arkham came about, went great. With the exception of Batman on the Game Boy, which I really like. I don't know, I just really like that one. I thought the rest were bang average, but hopefully this will be pretty good with the cartoony graphics. This was interesting. So I picked up Tron 2.0, which it's got to be based on the film. I'm not 100% sure. Again, there's nothing to indicate that it is. I don't know who did the Tron game. I don't know if the Tron film, the second one, or the remake. I know, was it Disney? I don't even know. I'm not well up on films, but this was £4, and it was the second one in the store. There was 2 of them. The other one, which the case was in slightly better condition. This isn't bad. The only issue is that one of the spokes on the spindle has broken off. But the other one, which hadn't, was £8. I thought, well, saving, I think it's £8 in CEX as well, so saving the £4 just for the fact that a little bit of the case has broken off. You can always get a case replacement, even if I have to buy a FIFA. It's worth saving the £4. Don't know much about the game. If it's like the film, it's futuristic, obviously. And everyone will always remember the race in the film with the virtual reality race with the bikes, which fantastic for the time, obviously. So yeah, I'm hoping that's in there. But if not, it's another one for the collection anyway. I am going for a full Xbox set, so that's one that I needed. Didn't need, but you know what I mean, to get the full set. So the next game that I got was a PSP game, and this completes the trilogy of the Grand Theft Auto games. Now, this is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, and I don't know if this was released on the DS first and then came to the PSP, or if they were both released at the same time. But it is a game that you don't see too often. It's not rare, it's just rarer than the other two. And it's a return to the classic GTA games off the first PlayStation. It's from an overhead view, but it's a bit more modern. It's, how to explain it, it's 2.5D. The buildings pop out at you, so in that respect, it's still a lot better than in terms of graphics anyway, it's a lot better than the original PlayStation games. But this game I had on the DS. I've never played it on the PSP. I still haven't played it now before coming into this video. But on the on the DS, I seem to remember a really, really cool little thing where if you take a car, if you steal it, jack it, whatever you want to say, it must have been a stationary one. It took you into a little mini game, which was like the unlocking a lock on Skyrim, and you had to basically get the car going, and it was such a good idea that they implemented into the DS, because obviously you had that touchscreen at the bottom to be able to do it. It looks like it's in the PSP version, going by one of the screenshots on the back. I'm not quite sure how that'll work, but I'm sure they'll have got it to work pretty well. And yeah, I'm glad that's in it. Just a tiny little thing that they've added into the game, which made all the difference for me, really. Instead of just pressing, on the PlayStation, you press triangle and then you stole the car, off you went. I just thought that was a nice little touch to add some little mini game into the whole experience of stealing a car. So yeah, if you've never played it, I do recommend it. It is a good game in itself, set within Liberty City, but you're working with the triads and things like that. So I won't ruin much of the story. Really good game. Like I said, not played it on the PSP, but on the DS it was really good. Oh, and I got that for £10 in CE. This is pristine as well, but in CEX it's 12, so really good buy that. And I believe it was in the cabinet, if that makes a difference. And finally, the Game Boy game. Now, I was going through all the Game Boy games that he has. He keeps them in these little boxes, which you'll have seen in the footage. And there was some really good titles there. Ninja Gaiden. No. Resident Evil Gaiden, or Gaiden, however you say it, was in there, which was there the last time. I said, how much is it? Because it didn't have a sticker on it. He promptly went onto eBay because I think that's how he does a lot of his pricing, which is fine. You know, these stores, they've got to keep up with the prices, and you know they don't have a whole army of marketers that keep up with prices and things like that. So he went onto his phone, had a look, and he quoted 40. I thought, well, that's a really good price. I think in CEX it's around 50, maybe more if you're going on eBay. I'm sure I've seen it more anyway, so I thought that's a really good price that he quoted there. Maybe he just wanted to get rid of it, I'm not sure. But I decided against it, and I got a slightly cheaper game for £30. And I must say as well, if you are watching, I believe he's called Ron, if you are watching, thank you for the discount that you gave me. It wasn't an awful lot, but it brought the games down to a nice figure, basically. And I'm happy with the price that I paid. It was, if I'd have got everything from CEX, I would have paid more. But this game, if it will focus, is Mega Man. Oh, hopefully it will. It is Mega Man 3 on the Game Boy. And like I say, it's really pricey if you was to get it boxed. But wow, what a game. Absolutely fantastic, as all the Mega Man games are. And you don't really lose an awful lot for playing it on the Game Boy. It plays so well on the Game Boy, as you would expect. On the NES as well, graphically, between the two, obviously, it's not the same, but it's not far off. You don't have the colours, of course, on the Game Boy, but graphically, not far off at all. And yeah, if you've not played Mega Man on the Game Boy, it can be pricey, but it is worth it. Even if you're emulating it, go for it, because they're really good, especially if you're a Mega Man fan. So really happy with that. It's the first Mega Man game that I've got on the Game Boy as well. The more expensive games I tend to keep away from because price is an issue for me, unfortunately. And that was my trip to the Gamepad. I so wish I could have spent more time there, but I had my wife tapping her foot, and yeah, I don't think she'd have been happy if I'd have been in there for 2 hours. So I needed more money as well, to be honest. There was so much that I wanted. There was, as you'll have seen in the footage, there was a PSP, the Simpsons one, which is yellow with the white thumbsticks, which is beautiful, I've got to admit. I'm not sure if that was boxed. I'm sure he'll have put the box in there. But either way, it's a fantastic system, and one that I really, really want if I can get it for a good price. So not far from the Gamepad is CEX. I say not far, it's about a 10-minute walk, something like that. And they didn't have an awful lot in across the board. Not just retro, they didn't have a lot in on the Xbox, on the PSP. Even on the 360, I had a look, and there was nothing really that stood out to me. That there was lots that I needed, but not that I wanted, to be honest. And I thought most of the games I could probably pick up for cheaper than what they're selling them to me in bundles and things like that. So yeah, I decided against that. But I did pick up a PSP game, and stupidly, it's one that I need and one that I haven't got. And it's like a staple of the system, but it is Ratchet and Clank SARS Matters. And this plays just like the PS2 games. And yeah, it's just an awful lot of fun. And I think it's unique to I think it's a unique game to the system as well. I've not really played many of the PS2 games. I've only played a couple of the PS3 ones. So an awful lot of fun. 3D action game where you go around killing enemies, collecting bolts, things like that. Think Banjo, because all them type of games anyway. Yeah, but it's fun. And £4 I thought was a really good price. And then the last game was a DS game, and I know Eddie at Rollcar will love this, I think. I've not played any of these games, and I know there is one that's highly rated on the Super Nintendo. This is Children of Mana, Now, I say on the Super Nintendo, this is a Square Enix game, and there is, what is it on the Super Nintendo? Secret of Mana, I believe. It's got to be part of the same system. I'm really bad with RPGs, but I'm really getting into them. And we had this discussion on the TNB podcast. There we go. Get my teeth in. TNB podcast. I was talking about handheld gaming and was talking about the DS, which a lot of people think is garbage, full of shovelware. But we were saying, me and Eddie were saying, if you go beyond the shovelware, just dig a little bit deeper, you can get some amazing games, and none more so than RPGs on the system. And yeah, this one looks pretty good. I'm definitely, well, I paid 18 quid for it. It's one that I really want to play and try and get into. If I do like this, there was a remake of Secret of Mana on the Switch, which I'm going to get if I like this, which I'm sure I will like this. This is a Square game, Square RPG, with the like 16-bit graphics as well. I just know I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, Eddie, if you are watching, just let us know if this is any good, or anybody else, just let us know if this is any good. But yeah, at the moment I've not played it, so I can't comment, unfortunately. And that's the entirety of my pickups. And I've got to say that just my whole time in Scarborough, going to the Gamepad and CEX was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Couldn't have picked a better time of year. It swelter in there, which was fantastic. Had a really good time. But yes, if you ever do find yourself in Scarborough, get yourself down to the Gamepad. It really is worth it. But set aside a bit of time and be prepared to dig around. But if you do, you will find some bargains. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. A nice little look at an independent store there. I did go to York as well for the day after. So that video will be coming very soon, not long after this. And yeah, I picked up some good games from there as well. As I always do, Saw Thumb Retro in York is a fantastic store. But yeah, I just want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you again very soon with another one, which will be the Saw Thumb one, of course. Okay, take care, guys. Thanks for watching.